really hope they know what they're doing. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric, and welcome to Out of the Groove. Happy Friday to everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We've got a lot to get to today, but first, a few housekeeping things I gotta catch y'all up on with this channel. I know I made a lot of promises this week. I planned on having my diecast collection review video up this week. That's not happening. That thing turned out to be a bear to try and edit together. That will be up very, very soon. Secondly, the Downhill Diecast Championship finale. I never actually announced a release date for that, but right now we're looking at early this next week, so stay tuned to the championship round. The conference finals and the championship will all be airing very, very shortly. We'll be premiering it on YouTube live like we've been doing for the other episodes, so I'm really excited about that. Those are coming very soon. They just take a lot of time to edit, and I'm just one mortal man. I got a lot of other things going on, so unfortunately I have not been able to finish those yet, so just want to get that out of the way. Let's talk NASCAR news, because there is a lot of it here on a Friday. We'll start with some NASCAR related things I saw on Twitter yesterday. Mike Wheeler, crew chief for Bubba Wallace this year, tweeted that 2311 Racing got their first race car at their shop earlier this week. You can see the photos 2311 Racing posted. Denny Hamlin, they're examining the car, making sure, yes, this has 4 tires. There's lug nuts on those tires. This is a race car. We're good, boys. We got it. I'm sure plenty of work has been done on this car before it landed in their race shop. 2311 Racing is going to be getting a lot of support from Toyota Racing Development, but I am a little concerned that they only just now got their first race car. I mean, I've never worked in a race shop. I'm not super familiar with the timetable, the process, but I feel like people talk about preparing for the Daytona 500 months in advance. We are a month away roughly from the Daytona 500, and they're just now getting the car at the shop. That's a little weird, but like I said, I'm sure Toyota behind the scenes has put a lot of effort and energy into that race car, into all their other cars as well. That's where a lot of their support's going to be coming from, but thought that was a little bit interesting. Anyway, another thing I saw on Twitter that a lot of people were commenting on is a photo Hendrick Motorsports posted to their website of Kyle Larson in a plain black fire suit. That Denny Hamlin Domino's ad's been airing everywhere the last few weeks. Hey Hamlin, I like your PJs. If you want to talk about pajamas, this Larson photo, this looks like pajamas. I mean, come on. It's almost entirely blank. I mean, you've got the Chevy logo, the Cup Series logo, Hendrick Motorsports, not even HendrickCars.com, it just says Hendrick Motorsports. You do have some sponsor logos on the sleeve, like a Cronus, a Siemens, a Sunoco, but those are just Chevy associate partners. I think it's interesting that like Valvoline, Axalta, Chevy Goods, I'm surprised some of those sponsors aren't listed either, because those are also well-known Hendrick associate sponsors. But yeah, it just continues to back up the fact that Kyle Larson is not going to have many sponsors on that car at the start of the year. I don't think he's actually going to roll up to the track in a plain black car or in a plain black fire suit. He'll have a little bit more pizzazz to it. I'm sure. I guess I'm not sure, but I assume. But anyway, those photos were going around on social media yesterday, so I wanted to hit on those really quick. Also, some silly season news. GMS Racing announced yesterday that Raphael Lessard will race full-time for the team in the Truck Series this year. Originally, remember, they announced he would race, I believe, 10 races for the team, and they were hoping they could find sponsorship to put together a full schedule. Well, I guess they found some partners, because now the Canadian, Raphael Lessard, is going full-time truck racing for the second year in a row. Good news for him. According to their press release, they haven't found full sponsorship. In fact, they're still looking for a full season of funding, but they did land a new associate sponsor to help out with some of those missing races. So slow, small gains, steady gains, but it still sounds like they're not quite fully funded for a full schedule. But I hope Raphael Lessard and GMS can make something happen. Good luck to him. Of course, last year was Raphael Lessard's rookie season in trucks. He drove for KBM. He got a win late in the year at Talladega, 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s, an average finish of, 15.3. He finished 12th in the points. I mean, it was not a great year, but with all the extenuating circumstances, no practice, no qualifying, first year with a new team, I'll cut him some slack. Glad he's getting another full-time opportunity in trucks. I hope he makes the most of it. I expect to see some serious improvement this year. Hopefully that does indeed come to fruition. But good luck and congratulations to Raphael Lessard. Now, there are 2 big stories from yesterday that I primarily want to focus on. We'll talk about Kaulig Racing in a moment. They made an announcement yesterday, a very exciting announcement, but I'm going to start instead with what I opened this video with. Bristol Motor Speedway yesterday posted videos for the first time of dirt being delivered, being packed onto the racetrack. Of course, in preparation for the NASCAR weekend in March, gonna be something. And actually, not just NASCAR. I've lost track at this point, but I know they've announced World of Outlaws are coming there later this spring. I think they've got a big dirt late model race, I think the week before the Cup race. So the dirt surface at Bristol is gonna be busy. But here's the video I opened this video with. Yeah, you can see dump trucks literally pouring dirt, sawdust, I saw some people saying, onto the surface or onto the, it looks like onto pit road. I did see a report report that pit road will not have dirt on it, so I'm sure they're going to be relocating all of this pile of dirt here. But yeah, a lot of work, I'm sure. It's only a half-mile track, but with all the banking, with everything all the prep that needs to go into it, I'm sure this is going to be a massive undertaking. There's a reason we haven't seen dirt put back on Bristol in like 20 years, because it takes a lot of time, energy, and likely a lot of money. But they've got their work cut out for them. But there you have it. I couldn't help but cringe a little bit when I saw these images, when I saw this video. Like, I'm excited for the Bristol dirt race, and obviously a lot of other people are as well. NASCAR and Bristol announced yesterday that the dirt race has sold out officially more than 2 months in advance. Now, of course, this is a socially distanced event, or at least it's expected to be, and Bristol usually seats around 150,000 people. Most people are estimating this race is going to have 30,000 fans, more than likely, something around that range. They had about 25,000 fans last summer for the Bristol All-Star race, so I'm guessing it'll be a similar number, maybe a little bit more. So they're not selling out 100,000 seats, but they have sold out the roughly 30,000 grandstand seats that were available for this race 2 months in advance. So clearly there's some hype, there's build up for this event, but I still cringe because this could be a self-inflicted disaster, if you ask me. I saw this tweet from Anthony Alfredo yesterday. Of course, Alfredo earlier this week announced he's going cup racing this season for the first time, and he tweeted this: "Almost forgot that I'll also be running my first dirt race this year. Ho ho!" And therein lies my largest issue, or at least my largest concern with the Bristol dirt race. These guys aren't dirt racers. These cars aren't dirt cars. Too many NASCAR Cup Series drivers have little or no dirt racing experience whatsoever. And you're going to set these guys loose for, they haven't announced how many laps, but for a long, probably 3-hour long race on a treacherous dirt racing surface in front of thousands of fans in attendance, in front of millions more on TV. You're going to do that? That just seems like a huge gamble. I understand there's a few tremendous dirt racers in the race. Of course, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell come to mind first. But you get tweets like Anthony Alfredo, who's literally never raced on dirt. And I understand, well, he's a race car driver. He should be able to race anything. There's a huge difference between dirt, between asphalt. Great dirt racers often come to NASCAR and struggle, at least at first, and often vice versa. So you're taking the best stock car drivers, which again are not dirt racing cars, naturally, and you're taking them completely out of their element and putting it on display for the entire world to see. I just have a feeling this race will be a disaster. I hate to sound like such a downer, but I'm just genuinely concerned that this race is going to make NASCAR look like a laughingstock on the world stage. This race is going to do something remarkable. It's going to set some sort of record like most cautions in a NASCAR Cup Series race, or it's going to set like the modern era record of fewest cars finishing on the lead lap, something like that. I would not be shocked. Fewest passes in a Cup Series race, fewest lead it could be something like that. I do not think this race is going to look anything like your typical NASCAR race, and I don't think that's going to be a good thing, or at least I'm very concerned. Maybe I'm overblowing it. I remember when the Truck Series first went to Eldora, it wasn't a total disaster. It was pretty fun to watch, actually. Eldora got a lot of people excited, so maybe this will be a lot like that. I think Bristol is a very different track than Eldora, and you're bringing Cup Series cars there as opposed to trucks. You're bringing different drivers there. There's a different expectation when you bring the Cup Series somewhere than when you get the trucks all rough and dirty. I'm cautiously optimistic that it will work and that it will even maybe be a really fun race, but I'm not 100% sold. And when I see these images, it's finally hitting home. It's finally looking real to me that, oh yeah, they're turning one of the Bristol races into a dirt race. I love Bristol, the normal Bristol, so much, so I'm already a little nervous, a little apprehensive about it because they're getting rid of one of the dates at my favorite racetrack, but I'll remain cautiously optimistic. Again, I'm concerned. Tweets like what Anthony Alfredo put out yesterday make me think this isn't a great idea, but we'll see what happens. Let me know down in the comments below if you're excited for Bristol Dirt, if you think it's going to go pretty well, pretty smoothly, or if you think it's going to be a total disaster. Let me know what you think down in the comments. The last thing I want to talk about is an announcement from Kaulig Racing yesterday. You can tell it's the new year. Everyone's back at work because there are a ton of announcements once again in the NASCAR world, but Kaulig Racing, a superpower in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, is planning to go cup racing in 2021 on a part-time basis. Matt Kaulig anticipates running a part-time schedule this year with super speedways, road courses being the focus, and the team's goal is to begin the year running the Daytona 500. Of course, the team does not have a charter, so they would have to race their way in either on time or in the dual races, but of course that is very, very possible. No word of what driver they may be looking at. It's worth noting that, assuming they qualify, this would be the second year in a row that Kaulig Racing has raced in the Daytona 500. Back in 2020, Kaulig Racing made their Cup Series debut with Justin Haley in the Great American Race, and actually Justin Haley finished 13th in that race, so not a bad debut debut from Kaulig. That was the one and only Cup Series race the team attempted in 2020. That was so far the only Cup Series race in their history. But now they're looking to take another small step forward this year, hopefully going to qualify for several other races, beginning with Daytona. A lot can go wrong at Daytona, but hopefully the team is able to qualify. They did not say in their announcement yesterday what driver they would attempt to race the Daytona 500 with, what drivers they may use at the road courses or whatever other races they try to qualify for this year. Their Xfinity team has a very different look this year. Justin Haley, of course, is returning full-time, but now they've got AJ Allmendinger and Jeb Burton racing full-time for them this year. That leads me to believe if they do in fact choose to focus on super speedways and road courses this year, you got Justin Haley, who technically has a Cup Series win at a super speedway, to run those races, and then you've got AJ Allmendinger, who's a fantastic road course racer who's won a Cup Series race at Watkins Glen a number of years ago. So you have two drivers that are kind of specialists, if you will, at those types of racetracks. So Kaulig might be set up to run pretty well in their part-time starts this year, assuming they're able to qualify. That's what I'd love to see, at least. I think Justin Haley at the super speedways, he's had success there in Xfinity as well. I think that would be fantastic. AJ Allmendinger on the road courses in a decent car would be really fun to see in 2021. Kaulig has a technical alliance, a pretty deep technical alliance. I believe they work basically out of the same shop as Richard Childress Racing, so I know they help them with their Xfinity program. If they go Cup racing, I'm sure there'll be some sort of partnership there as well. So more than likely, these will not be terrible cars that Kaulig is putting on the track in the Cup Series. They'll be decent. They'll be capable of running top 20, I would say, but it remains to be seen what races, of course, they choose to run, who they choose to drive their cars, what numbers they'll run. A lot of people assume it'll be number 16. That's probably what it will be, but I'm excited. This is a story of a team that's really built themselves up. Of course, they have their connections. Of course, they have their technical alliances, but this is a team that started in Xfinity, got better to the point where they had a driver in the championship for this last year. They were winning races this last year consistently, and now they have their eyes set at the big stage, the NASCAR Cup Series, of course, and the goal, it sounds like, is for the team to go full-time sometime early into the next-gen car era. They'll probably need some sort of technical alliance to make that happen, but as I mentioned, they've got that. Love to see new teams wanting to get into the NASCAR Cup Series. I do hope that if in the next couple of years they do go Cup racing, they don't completely abandon their Xfinity program, because this has proven to be a very strong team in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and that's the one series of the main three NASCAR series that I'm a little worried about. I'm a little worried for its future. Trucks with those spec motors, they have full fields pretty easily week to week. They have a lot of this last year we saw like 15, 20 competitive trucks on a weekly basis. That's pretty impressive. The Cup Series is the Cup Series. Yes, it's expensive to be competitive, but it also gets the most attention, the most media attention, the most fan attention. So there's a lot more money in the Cup Series. The Xfinity Series is that weird middle child, unfortunately, where it's clearly looked at as the minor leagues of Cup, but it costs significantly more to be competitive in Xfinity than it does to be competitive in truck. So that's just kind of in a weird middle zone. That's why we really only saw 10 or 12 competitive cars at the track on a weekly basis last year. And when I say competitive, I mean cars that can realistically win anywhere, anytime. So I am a little worried about the long-term future of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We've seen what's happened to ARCA in recent years, and I worry that, several years at least down the line, Xfinity could look kind of similar. I mean, Roush shut down their Xfinity program. Penske, RCR have reduced the size and scale of theirs. Sure, you got teams like Kaulig that have really risen up the last few years to kind of fill some of that gap, but I'm not fully convinced the Xfinity Series is in the best place right now, but I don't know. That's a conversation for a later date, but I hope Kaulig doesn't just abandon the Xfinity Series if and when they go full-time Cup racing, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, y'all, that's all I have to talk about in this episode. Let me know what drivers you'd love to see Kaulig race in Cup this coming season. Do you want to see Allmendinger on the road courses? I know I do. I feel like we all should want to see AJ Allmendinger in a competitive road course car. That would be really, really fun. But let me know what you guys think of everything we talked about in today's video down in the comments. As always, thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel so you do not miss an upload. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we have a lot of exciting videos in the works that will be coming out very, very shortly, so stay tuned. As always, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters as well. Lots of stuff going on. I appreciate the support. Thank you all for watching this video. I will see y'all in the next one. Take care, everyone.